Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Dwayne here again at 8-Bit Vinyl. Today I wanted to talk once again about the Mortal Kombat 2 Legacy cabinet. And today's video is going to include upgrading your stock arcade 1up joysticks to these Suzo happ or happ style competition arcade joysticks. The reason I upgraded this is because if you truly want to feel that authentic arcade feel that you felt in the original arcade versions of the Mortal Kombat series, the Street Fighter Legacy series, the Killer Instinct series, and even the NBA Jam, this upgrade is going to help you out a lot. It's a relatively fast upgrade. It's a relatively inexpensive upgrade. It doesn't require a whole lot of tools and know how to do this. I believe the gameplay to be just that more interactive and the spontaneity of the special moves of these Mortal Kombat games with these joysticks is just a step above the rest. So if you like my videos or previous videos that I've had on this cabinet or any other mods that I've made, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to my channel, Dwayne at 8-Bit Vinyl. And without further ado, we'll get started on this project right away. So the first thing we're going to do is take off this control panel and disconnect the deck, flip it over, and take off the tray. Okay guys, so here's a closer look. Once you take off the plastic control panel, there's going to be these little tiny garbage wire ties that you'll disconnect here. And if you look at your encoder board real close, you'll notice that these 4-prong plugs here on the encoder board say up, down on the 2 bottom, and on the top they say left, right for each controller. So there's 2 here, and then obviously for player 1 is going to be over here. This is player 2. So instead of disconnecting that, we want to use these existing wires for our happ sticks. So we're not going to disconnect these at all. And what's great about this is by leaving them plugged in, you know exactly which part of the controller these need to be spliced into. So I'm going to go ahead and start disconnecting the controllers. Now that I got the wires all clipped, a lot of people are like, well, how do I get this glue from being unstuck? And a lot of people want to pry it off with the screwdriver. What I usually do is I just really get a good grip on the controller like this and just pull. And that's it. Controller out. Okay, guys, so I wanted to show you what these competition happ controllers look like. They look like this. They have 4 micro switches on each side. I know that this has been gone over 100 times. They call them either Suzo happ or the original name is happ competition joysticks, and that you can find them on Amazon. They're about anywhere from $18 to maybe $23, $25 tops. And here's the stick. You can buy these in green, blue, let's see, black, obviously, yellow. And there might be 1 or 2 other colors. Not sure about purple, but this is what they look like. This is what everybody used in the old arcades who's ever been to one, for NBA Jams, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighters, and that's about it. The rest were Sandwall, but even Killer Instinct, these were blue. on Killer Instincts. So anyways, they come with a little hap stick. They come with this little washer here piece. They come with this. They come with a little square regulator, which you'll need to hit the relays. And then they come with a cotter pin ring just to put it all in place. So what we're going to do, just to get this lined up properly in player 2 spot, we're not wiring anything yet. Put your washer on your joystick, and that's it. That's all we're going to do right this second. Now, I've already kind of lined this up to save you some trouble, but the way this sits, this is hitting against my buttons here. So what I want to do, in order for this to fit properly, and I actually don't have to cut this one out, is I'm going to put it 90 degrees. It won't matter, because it's all it really matters is where these buttons are in relation to which way you're doing the controller. So this could be up, this could be up, this could be up, anything. It just matters how you wired it. It doesn't really matter if this is up or if this is down or that. It does not matter. So, what I'm basically doing is I pinch the control deck here with my thumb. You can barely see me on the camera, like this. Okay? And then I kind of hold my joystick down, like, or my my hap base down with my hand, kind of squeezing it and palming it. Let me get this crap out of the way, sorry. Like this. I have my washer on my stick, and then I just reach underneath the control panel like this. Put that in place. And then I just kind of stick my head under the control panel like this and kind of just make sure that's in the center of my hole, exactly where I want it. And that looks pretty close. I mean, I know that I'm right up tight with it. And I know that I'm not straight here. So I'm going to keep kind of doing that back and forth until I feel like, one, this is nice and straight, parallel with this edge is like my guideline, right? And kind of keep going back and forth like this until it's where I exactly want it. Which is pretty close right there. So what I'm going to do is keep that right there. Don't move it. Take a pencil, just so you know where it is. You don't have to keep doing this back and forth. And just kind of mark my deck like this. And what I'm going to use to mount this, so these hap controllers come with these screws. They're like very small. They're number 4s. The threads are very, very fine. And honest to God, they don't even fit in this thing. You put them through here, and they fall right through the hole. They're holding nothing. They're worth nothing to me. So what I use, guys, is I use these number 8s sheet metal screws. They're 3/4 of an inch long, and they work perfect. They got a lot of meat on there. They got a lot of bite. And when you're playing with adults and stuff, you're going to need that to really kind of hang on to the controller and feel like it's really biting into the deck. These cabinets are fairly cheap, so, I mean, you can only be so aggressive. But you get the picture. And then I wind up just putting a single washer on the screws. And these are just believe it or not, number 6 washers, not number 8s. They're actually number 6 washers. And to prove to you, they do fit on the screw beautifully. And it just gives you just that little bit of a touch. Sorry about the bouncy camera. Just a touch more surface, in my opinion, to really bite on to the hap controller. I don't know why this is giving me a hard time. There. So when that goes in there, you really feel like you got some meat on there. And that's about all you have for threads on the bottom. But if you put it up against your deck, you know you're not going to go through it and into the artwork on the other side that you're really trying to see. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and drill that. And just as before, I always put a little piece of tape on my drills, just a little, just as a little marker. And I kind of just put put my happ down through here, and then wherever my tape is, it's just so I don't go through the deck itself. It kind of just gives me a nice safety stop. It's just a rule of thumb. So you know when you're drilling, once you hit that tape, don't keep drilling because you'll drill through it. So, but it also gives you the depth you need for the screw. So I'm going to go ahead and drill that and get started. And we're only drilling one hole, guys, to start. Now we got a one screw, this is an 1/8 inch drill in case I didn't mention it. But we got one screw in there nice and snug. Lifted this up, I readjusted, making sure my stick was in the right place. I just like to double check and triple check everything. And then we can go ahead and drill our other screws and put our screws in. So in the next step, guys, what I'm going to do is I bought these. These are called happ style / Sanwa style wiring harnesses, button wiring harness. So Sanwa or happ style button wiring harness. You can buy these on eBay. They come from China and they do take weeks to arrive, guys. So you definitely need to give yourself time and patience when getting these. They come in 2.4 millimeter or 4.8 millimeter. For happ style, which is these particular controllers, these are 4.8 millimeter, and that's important because these connections are bigger. The 2.4, these connections are smaller, and they will work for like the Suzo happ buttons or stock arcade 1up buttons. So depending on your application, make sure you know what you're ordering, and do yourself a favor. They're pretty cheap to buy. They're only like $5 for a set of like a dozen or something. I would get a couple sets in case you mess up, or in case you got further projects they take so long to get. I would actually have a couple of these sets on hand. So what I'm going to wind up doing here, guys, is because this is a 4-prong plug into my encoder board, I'm going to actually cut this off, and I only want to use these wires, and I'm actually going to join each wire onto this and basically make an extension cord so I can put my clips on this. So what I use for this, these are actually called Butt Splices. They are 22-18, in case you're looking for the size. They come in all different various packs. They look like this. They got a little hole in there on both sides, and it basically just makes an extender out of the wire. And then I just kind of put that together and it extends your wire and it gives you your clip. They may make other ones that are these controllers that are 4-prong with 4 different wires hanging out of it. Honestly, I don't really know where to find those or what they're even called, so that's why I'm doing this method. Okay, guys, so what I did here is I turned the control panel around so you can actually see the encoder board here first and try to explain some of the spaghetti. So what I did is I spliced all my wires like you saw, and I put these connectors on it, and then I put a blue and a red, or a blue and a white on each of them. So what you have here is you have up, down, left, and right. So all I did was really mimic the original controller, so I knew that the red one here was to go, let's see, the red one here was to go up. The green one here was to go down, but it's on the same 4 plug. This one here went, this one here went to the right. This one here went to the left. Does it matter on if the blue or the white one goes on either one of these yellow wires? No, it does not matter at all. All that really matters is that the two connections that are left and right go on one of these prongs. I happen to put the blue ones on the outside prong and the white one in the middle because I just knew that's what worked, but it doesn't really matter. You could have the blue one in the middle and the white one on the end, and it would still work just fine. As long as it's not on this inner tab, nothing's on this inner tab, you can't go wrong. It's just a relay switch that goes on and off. So it's just like the buttons. It really doesn't matter which one's positive or negative, as long as one makes a contact and one releases the contact. Just so you know what that is. So I'm going to go ahead and splice up the rest of the wires for player 1 and mimic the exact same thing that I did on player 2. And I'll show you what it looks like when we get it all cleaned up and tied up together. Okay, so we got it all together, and what I did is I just kind of clustered the wires and just made it look pretty with some zip ties and stuff like that. So goes to show you that this one is horizontal and this one over here is actually straight up and down vertical. So just proving a point that this will work. So we're going to go ahead and turn this right back on, and just to test it, we're going to just flip it around here. Plug in our wire cable, turn our game on, and this is just to test it, right? They look great already. You can see how responsive these controllers are. I don't have the deck protector on it or anything like that, but just to make, this is just a trial run, make sure we got our wires in the right place. Like I said, the outside one and the middle one are the wires you want to connect to. And you can see these are nice in the center of where they should be. So left, right looks good. Left, right looks good. Up, down on player 1 looks great. Up, down on player 2 looks great. Whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit Defender. I meant to hit Mortal Kombat. So we'll just hit Liu Kang. Player 2, hit. So nothing should have changed with the buttons, but left, right. You can just tell that the responsiveness of the controllers work good. I love it. Next thing I want to talk about is the deck protector. So of course when you use these happ controllers, the depth of this basically these little circles where the controller actually moves around does hit and bottom out here. And as well as way over here on player 1 side, this does also cause a problem. So this is what I did for player 1 is I basically just notched out my control deck, nice square edge there. And then for the holes, instead of just carving it up and trying to router, this is actually an inch and a quarter hole that I used with either a spade bit or a hole saw, and just kind of did a measurement from a point. I actually did it from the center of this little mounting hole for your deck protector, or whatever this is, this dust guard, to about the center of this, and ballparked it. This happens to be 3 3/4, this measurement. And then basically I just came from the outside wall of my dust cover to the center of this, and that X marks the spot. This should basically be parallel because we haven't really changed much difference here. But again, just for the record, right here, this This is going to be 3 3/4 here. Sorry about the shaky camera. And then I just kind of ballparked it. So just so you can see how this fits on there. Just so nothing hits. So it really looks like a professional job. That's going to fit right on there like factory. These are going to look kind of like they should. They're going to definitely roll in there. They're not going to bottom out on anything. I'm not hitting any wires. I come over this side here. This is what it's going to look like from the inside of the cabinet. So you got plenty of sidewall here. Nothing's going to touch these wires. And of course, the holes are going to look pretty good. And this is lined up too. So we'll go ahead. We'll get this all screwed down and hooked back up. And then we'll turn it around and do some gameplay. Well, that's about it for me today, guys. But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Dwayne again here at 8-Bit Vinyl, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.